Hello?
Habari ya asubuhi.
Poa sana.
Bado nangoja ufike pale nini iko network.
Bado inasumbua.
So uliniambia ndo utafuta network alafu urudi.
Nililala.
Habari ya asubuhi.
Poa sana.
Ulisema kwamba nini ikoje?
Nini hiyo?
Zoom.
Klasi yako iko saa ngapi?
Si asubuhi tu.
Sasa nitafanyaje?
Kwa nini?
Wanafunzi ni wangapi?
Level bere.
Sawa, Zoom unajua ile expire itabidi tu nini tutumie basi nini?
Nini?
Wao join na Google Meet alafu mimi wa stream kwa YouTube.
Na nini inachukua watu wangapi? Hiyo Google Meet.
Google Meet ni watu 100. Sasa watajoin tu na mimi alafu ni watu wape link ya YouTube.
Unatufanya maneno. Sasa hii online kutaendaje sasa? Walisemaje? Wakubwa wanasema nini?
Niambia mdosi akasema tu atupaka mambo na hii procurement inasumbua.
Okay. Sawa. Acha tu kwa sababu watu 100 alafu huko YouTube unaona sasa ile ni sawa. Acha let me see how I'll go about it.
Sawa. Habari ya asubuhi. Nimekutumia link kwa WhatsApp ya wanafunzi kujoin alafu yako ya kujoin nimekutumia kwa email ya Google Meet. Unafaa wafuadie, sijui wanafunzi wako unafaa wafuadie. So wafuadie wa join uanze class, iko nimesha set iko on. Mm. Ebu wanafunzi wasifuadie, nimekutumia kwa WhatsApp, alafu ujoin na Google Meet nimekutumia kwa email. Haya, haya. Hello?
Ni gani bwana? Naingia wapi?
Nilikutumia link ya Google Meet kwa email yako.
Nimeingia lakini sioni, naona tu, naona
kuna hii click and join the link, lakini ukifika huko unakuta kama hiyo kitu kama ka video mahali huko.
Nione. Nilikutumia kwanza, join using this link.
Link for students.
Kuna Google Meet online lesson Wednesday September. Tena kutumia tena.
Oh, nimeiona.
Click join. Alafu ingine umetumia wanafunzi.
Nimetumanisha wanafunzi hiyo ingine.
Sawa. Hata washa join, nimeona washa join. Yeah, you can start though.
And my clients, I'm not seeing them.
Them you can join the phone. They are on YouTube. You see the other link that I shared for YouTube?
Yes. Let me see. Oh, I can hear them.
Okay.
So let me find out whether they are there, because I can only see. I'm not used to this one. I can see Link, MacD and me alone. So probably they are on the other side. How can I?
You see the link that I shared with you on WhatsApp?
Yes.
Click just using your phone. Just click on that link. You'll see they have already joined.
Okay.
Yeah. You can just share your screen and maybe start up. It's okay.
Okay, ni sawa.
Just now share the screen with the content.
Yeah, just I can share the screen just like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's now okay.
So I can proceed. I hope they will get it, because I can see them from the other side. Yeah.
From the side, from the other side there are 300. The number is shooting.
Okay, let me just proceed. I hope they will. Can they be able to respond?
No, they can respond through the chat. You can see the chats. Huh?
Yeah, I can see through the chat. Just there. Okay, thank you. Good morning. I can see. Good morning, everybody. This is EDF 1110. I'm waiting for members to join. I can see a number of you are joining. Please, let me request the class reps and friends to send the link I have posted on your wall to friends and the other groups, because since morning, most of you have been calling me that I'm the class rep of chemistry, biology, geography, history, and the rest. Kindly assist me to post on all the walls so that everybody should be able to join the wall, or should be able to join the lesson. We shall be taking about 1 hour, 15 minutes, or thereabout, 1 hour, 30 minutes at most. I can see we are still joining, a good number getting in, so
that is
let me proceed.
That is
So
EDF.
let me make an introduction on my side.
What is the course code?
EDF 111.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just place it somewhere here.
You can also try to zoom out a bit.
I'll zoom out immediately. Let me just let me put it there. Then I go there. Then I go there. Then they will be there. Magdi, you can now see properly.
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
Yes. So everybody, karibu sana. I know you've been yearning to start to have this class started. We started last week at Auditorium C, and Auditorium C was just like a cube for all of us. It was the smallest place ever. I will be consulting the class reps, all the class representative, so that every Thursday we have a hall which are used by external members like school children and all the students from high school and any other place. That's Auditorium C every Thursday. So in case this group of EDA or EDS, all of them, or EPE and EDE combined, can be able to meet or can organize so that we can meet every Thursday. That will be better, so that at least, because for example in EDA, not every other lesson can be conducted online. The reason here is that they have a lot of teaching materials. They have a lot of demonstration, which I may not be able to apply it online, because it is not relevant to that person who is taking physics or business or English literature. So those who are taking EDE have a unique way of receiving the information. That is how they are being taught. And therefore, I would like to meet them mostly face-to-face at some time. Even if I don't meet the rest of the class, I would want to contribute my time and be able to meet EDE so that we can learn one or two things, which is very relevant to their way of teaching when they will be out of this place. And I don't know, I wanted to find out from any member whether I'm clear on your side. I don't know whether I'm very audible on your side, so that by the time I move and move and move, you should be able to, maybe somebody can chat on the wall there. Am I very clear? Kindly chat on the chat box there, the space chat. Hello.
Yeah, they are saying they're getting you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much. So this is a lesson which is very interesting, and if you don't get this unit very well, I don't know how you are going to be a teacher. This unit will take you through the process of getting out of being a youth or childhood into an adult. We will define what education is. I know you have been educated. You have been in several schools, from PP1, PP2, or it was grade daycare, all those ones. preschool, then primary school, class 1 to 8. From class 1 to 8, you did your KCPE. From your KCPE, you went to Form 1. Whichever school, some were in Alliance, some were at Putiel here. It doesn't matter. That is not the issue. Your national school, your extra county school, your sub-county school now are all merged into one. Knowledge is for all of us. It doesn't matter where you came from, and you cannot claim to be brighter than the rest. Now we are putting you all together into one basket. We will all graduate and go to the field. Now that is the time we will be discussing issues of where you came from and the school you learned. And therefore, in this group, we have 4 unique groups. 4 unique groups. Number 1, all of us, those who are taking education arts. Everybody who is taking education arts, that is English literature, history, geography, maths, geography, all those ones, business, all those ones. That is one group. We have another group that is EDS, the science group, maths, physics, biochem, and all the rest. We have that group, the ones who are taking agriculture, that is agriculture and extension, what education, PEE. That's a different group and very marketable indeed. And then we have the last one, the people who will be taking of our young children, taking care of. Not everybody would want to do those physics. There are people who would want to deal with small children. They love children, and that is their passion, to stay with the younger children. So all of us are here today. The title of our unit here is Introduction to Education 1. Introduction to Education 1. That is the title of this unit. And the code is EDF 1110. 1110. That is 1110. Formerly, it used to be EDF 111 before it was revised. Formerly, it used to be EDU 111. But now that EDU 111 is called EPM 1210. So this is the first part of our introduction as teachers. I will go through the way the course outline, which I will send to you, because you don't need a lot of notes. I will send all the notes to you. What you need to do is to write what you get out of my discussion this morning, because I will be explaining. Not everything is there. Is there in the notes. I will be giving you examples which are not there. We can't write everything in the notes, and therefore I will proceed to explain so many other things which will give you an example to be used during your examination. And therefore, because it is an online lesson and I know it costs, let me move straight away to what we are supposed to do today. In this unit, we will define education. And education, we are not the first people to define education. In fact, it is someone's language. Masomo hii ni lugha ya mtu mwingine. The word education does not come from your tribe, does not come from my tribe, does not come from your clan. It's not an African word. This is an English word from the European, the UK specifically. So just like the way Kiswahili is here in Kenya, in East Africa, or Tanzania and Kenya, so is English in other parts of the world. So the concept itself, when we talk about education, we are talking about something which can be defined in different ways. There is no single word, there is no single definition which can be accepted as being the best definition for education, because education has different ways in which people look at. The way you look at it and the way I look at it might have a different way of the way we will explain it. So in this way, it does not refer to a single concept or any attribute or any single meaning. It is multidimensional and relational. Multidimensional, when you talk about multidimensional, in science, we can define education differently. In arts, we can define education differently. In religion, for example, we can define education differently. In our traditional societies, here in Bungoma, Kibukusu, we can define an educated person differently. You can define education differently yourself, depending on wherever you come from and the way you understand. And therefore, it cannot be understood in isolation. You cannot say, I know how to define education alone. There is no single definition which will give you the greatest definition, the best definition, which carries everything. There is even things like wisdom. How do you include it? It is part of education. So, education, formally, you see, education, when we talk about education, most of it came from Greece. Your goats, your cows, anything, children at home. So education to them was a way of rearing or nurturing something. You just imagine a small plant. You plant it, you've transplanted it to something somewhere, you are taking it, watering it, and doing all those things. That is what education formally meant. And even up to today, that is why we are taking care of you. You are calling from as early as 6. We want to rear you to be teachers. And therefore, the term was used to explain how people used to take care of plants or animals, the way I've explained. The way somebody in the shamba would explain how he took care of his seedlings until he transplanted them. So we are used to be things how people call plant educators or human educators or animal educators. Those are some of the things they used to use. And therefore, I want us to look at education as defined by only 2 people. We have so many other people who can define education. I'll look at education as defined by sociologists. Sociologist here, I know it's like a vocabulary to all of us. You see, when we interact like the way we are when we are around the campus, we chat, we laugh, we make fun, we move together, we sit down together, we eat lunch together, we go to our cubes, we go along the road together, making fun of others, things like that. We are socializing, we are interacting, we are being together, we exchange our ideas. So in that friendship, the way children play, the way even you can see a hen with her chicks, the way all those chicks move together, the way people, teachers interact wherever they are, let's say in a staff room, the way we sing in church and we pray loudly for God to take care of us, the way we say praise God, the way we say, oh, Chamge in our place, and the way we say, oh, yes, we act ourselves. we are described as social beings. Social being, because that kind of interaction is what brings what is called socialization. You socialize. And at campus here, we need to do much of socialization. And that is why last time I was telling you when I was that the few who are there in the hall, I was saying, in this situation where we are now, socialization takes a broad way of living, so that we are now supposed to get out of how we were taught in high school and primary school, and even in early childhood, that is preschool. If you see boys and girls playing together in grade 1, 2, and 3, you will hear things like, teacher, huyu anasema tabia mbaya, huyu anaongea vitu kama tabia mbaya. When you get to class 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and even high school, they will always criticize you when you, let's say you are walking along the road with a boy or a man or a guy, a friend of yours. They say you look like you are misbehaving because girls should move together with girls. Boys should move together with boys. But here, we are now adults. We are no longer girls. We are no longer children. We are called teachers. And when you are at campus, you are a teacher trainee. And therefore, teachers socializes. They interact for them to learn. And therefore, even when you go back home, you should have learned how to interact. The church would want to isolate the way you interact. You must interact in a manner that suggests that your interaction is acceptable by society. And that is why even the pastor alone socializes with everybody. Utasikia wamama wanasema tunaenda kusalamia priest, tunaenda kusalamia pastor, tunaenda. But when pastor is a man in some cases, but women are going there. Why then do you look at my socialization with the opposite sex, the opposite boy or girl or man or woman as unacceptable? Yet we are adult. And that's why I was asking, you must socialize now. You must change the way you have been perceiving socialization at home and socialize as adults. Because at the end of the 4 years, most of us will leave, will have exited. This is the process of exiting your home totally and go forever to your home, to your place of work, to the outside the world, to start your family. And therefore, when you talk about staying together or moving with the own as an evil way, you are telling us that you want to move with your own group, the people who belong to the same sex orientation, which is not correct in this world, because even your mom and your dad socializes. That is why you are here. Under socialization, they quoted. Hata pastor mwenye anasema tabia mbaya, he socializes. That is why he has a family. And that's why he continues to socialize. You go there every day. So according to sociologist is the person who studies people's behavior, the way you interact, the way we move. If I sit down around the gate at around Sasita, even the weekend, I'll be observing how you are walking, how you are moving together, how you are standing, how you are talking, how you are seated, how you are going outside the gate, coming outside from the gate, and interacting with the watchman and the rest, and the gateman. That kind of study is what is called a sociologist way of studying human behavior. And the way you study human behavior, the way they interact, the way they socialize, we now called you sociologist. And you are an expert in that area. So according to sociologists, Education is socialization. And if you are not socializing, then you are not educated. I repeat again, if you are not interacting with others in a positive way and even in a negative way, you are not educated. So socialization defines education. Therefore, according to sociologists, education is socialization. It is a process by which accumulated cultural knowledge. Are you seeing that? We are now going home. Mama, Gogo, Chosh, Nanani, Guga, all those fellows who are at home. Their cultural knowledge, how they socialize at home, how they interact at home. The way they say, Odi, nani yako hapo hivi, karibu, nataka chai, wapi, vitu kama hizo. You get them coming to your home every morning. Those homes which are not locked, we have some guys here whose homes are locked 24 hours. Na wako na umbwa kali hapo. But I'm not saying they are wrong. It is their way they have been socialized and the way they live. That is how their environment looks like because of safety purposes. So, accumulated knowledge, cultural knowledge, and values are transmitted from one generation to the next. When we are here, we are about 43, 44, 45 tribes. How shall we understand that you are a Maasai? Are you running away from the best cultural practice around Africa, which is, which we can say, is emulated by almost everybody in the whole world? How I wish I could see the Maasai over the weekend with their traditional attire moving around. Not the ones when you want to danganya kutoka Tanzania na madawa. Our own students, even when currently we are going for our cultural or traditional presentations. How I wish you socialize in that, so that if you are, for example, if you are a Rendile, you should be able to interact with the Maasai, with the Samburus, with all the rest. The Kalenjin should be able even to interact with the Luos. They are all Nilos, all these ones with the Turkanas, and you sing with them. That kind of cultural understanding. Because here, as a woman or as a man, you may realize at some point, you may want to even to get someone from another tribe. But you have to socialize for you to be accepted in that region. Let's look at another person. The person who studies our minds, the way we think, the way things affect our behavior. These are the psychologists. They look at the mind, our thinking, our thoughts. Remember, the other one was about interaction. Like this is now the issue about the mind. Psychologists. So according to psychologists, education is a permanent change in behavior or attitude. Remember your own behavior. The childish behavior where even young men would go around the road and look at people passing. Wanaona wasichana wanacheka. In this situation, this is campus. We are allowed to do whatever we want to do because it is within our brains. So you will realize, but do not go to that extent, too much extent as a teacher. Over the weekend, you can do what you want to do. The way we take our life, we will not ask you why you are putting on a small trousers, maybe a pair of shorts as a girl. You will be there, but you need to judge yourself, the kind of job, the kind of profession you are taking. Otherwise, whatever the way you are going to laugh, the way you are going to talk, the way you are going to walk, the way you are going to put on your clothes, the way you are going to put all cosmetics on your body, the way you are going to put dreadlocks, that's none of our business here. We are not monitors here. You will do all what a student at campus does. But remember, practice makes things perfect. It will make you do something which are not acceptable. And I'm asking you not to practice this at home. Whatever is happening here in campus, all the clothes you are using your boom, the little money you got to purchase them, those clothes should be left in your box when you go home. Because education, remember, is diverse. We have cultural knowledge and values. We have other people's culture and the way we want to participate in socialization. So do not go home believing that you are now a campus student. Somebody is calling. MacD, am I still being heard? Are the students still getting me, or somebody is?
No, you are you're okay. You're okay.
I think that one must be lost. So the way you will go home, we are there at home. Hata mimi vile nakaa hapa hivi, hata president wakati anakaa anavaa suit kabisa, lakini akiwa kwake utakuta ako na t-shirt na nini, things like that, ana tie na vitu kama hizo. So when you go home, because you are educated, you must be able to change your behavior to fit the cultural behavior of your society, so that you are not, people don't look at you and maybe look at you as a person who wants to influence the youth. And some would want even to curse you. People would want to criticize you. You feel like you even don't want to go to interact with others because the way they look at you, and you felt that you are embarrassed. You go to church with a long trouser, because when you are a first year, haujajua kuchakua longi ambaye inakubalika officially, hata ile ya shule. You know, as a teacher, kuna malongi ya walimu. Not every long trouser is accepted at school. So don't pick any long trouser and say, so long as I have some jeans somewhere. Remember, jeans are not even allowed in schools. But people would look for some kind of jean which, when you look at it, it can be acceptable at the school. You have to struggle to make sure that the kind of cloth you pick is acceptable in that particular scenario. So, according to psychologists, education is a permanent change. So to define an education, certain basic important criteria must be fulfilled. Now you have known that education is defined widely. So I want to explain so that you understand in simple language, for those who want simple language. The first one, we will be, remember we've seen sociologists and psychologists. We will now define education from the mind, from the brain, the way our brain works. What goes into our brain and remain there. That is one way in which we are going to define education. Things like knowledge. Do you know something? Knowledge. We'll also define education in the way you write things, your handwriting, the way you model things, the way you cook, the way you put on your clothes, your own personal creativity, the way you make things, you use your own skills, the way you do your photocopy, the way I teach in class, because teaching is an art, the way we interact with you, the way we work, the way we bind books, the way you carry your bag, the way you board vehicles or matatos or motorbikes, the way you walk, and that kind of way in which you have to manipulate using your hands, legs, heads, and everything else. The one which requires the brain to request the hand or the leg to do something, the way you play football. We will define that education that way. We will also define education according to your own feelings. Yani, today is called, this teacher is making noise, that kind of thing. So it must fulfill at least 3 items, and then we had others. So education should involve acquisition of knowledge. So the first thing, your brain. acquisition of knowledge. Like today, you've learned that whatever we are going to put on in campus may not be acceptable at home. That is knowledge, new knowledge. Because according to you, you think you can go home and show your mom that the way you put on at that where you will be creating havoc in that family. You want to show them that now you have changed, you got saved from another church and you are going to change them. You will have to go and explain to them how you left the church at home and you went to another one. Pole pole paka wakuelewe. So that wanasema, today you are not a member and you are a grown up. The way we move that way. So that is cognitive knowledge. We can say when one is educated, one must know something. You must be able to say, I know something. Number two, education should enable one to do something. This means nurturing creativity in the individual. Look at the way we've all come here. When people go abroad, students go abroad, na nyinyi wote mnajua. Wanaingia tu katika hiyo shule, hiyo university, and they struggle a bit. Kidogo, unasikia ametafuta kibarua. Hapa na pale. Mwingine ameanzisha kabiashara kidogo, anatuma vitu hapa Kenya kutoka China huko. Watu wanakuja wanauzia. Wanafanya kibarua. They multiply their resources. That is knowledge, being creative to make sure that the little amount of money you get, you multiply. Remember, their losses and their profits. But in Africa, like Kibabii, you get your boom, 20,000, 25, and you eat within a day or 2 days. Ushanunua kila kitu. Unajipata kwa supermarket kila mahali. Ukinunua almost everything. You are almost purchasing everything in this region, an environment between Kibabii and Gandui. Using the little amount of money, thinking that instead of multiplying, even the Bible, remember the one man, the two men, the 5 men who multiplied to 10, and they were rewarded. The 2 men who multiplied to 4, and they were rewarded. And the one man who said, I'm not going to multiply, like you eat in the next 2 for 1 month, you have no money, and you begin crying until the end of the semester. Nitakufa njaa, watu wananikataa nyumbani, munanitesa. Nani anatesa nani? It is because of lack of education. Nani anatesa nani? You got the money which was enough for the whole semester. But because of lack of education, financial management, creativity on how to save, to create something which can multiply that little amount of money. Ukakuwa kachinga, I'm not saying where ukakuwa mchinga, it is because you did not have the knowledge on how to multiply them. Where umetoka high school, you are used to money, being given money. My friends, teacher, trainee, stop waiting to be given money to use. Get the money and multiply. You will fail 1, 2, 3, 5 times, and now you will know. You can even sell peremende everywhere, but not in the campus, within the campus. So umeona barabara imejaa. Imagine, most of them are students, and you are not among them. Wewe kazi yako ni kutandika tu yako. And then tomorrow you complain to all of us, in a fees, in a what. What do you want us to do? You know your place has no money. Huko ni umaskini tu, hata pastor ndio alichanga ndio kafika hapa. And right now umepata kale kadogo, unajifanya tajiri. Is that knowledge? Not knowledge at all. You must be creative. You must be a very creative individual and understand this is not high school. Hata polisi wakikushika, watasema tulishika mwanaume, tukashika mwanamke. The other day, wangeshika kijana, mfulana, ama msichana. Sasa ukiwa campus, utapigana na askari, na watashika mwanamke. So you are no longer a child. Get out of that place and let's proceed. Education should lead to a positive change in attitude. And that education should bring a permanent change. That you are no longer the person receiving, but now you are the person to provide. Just like your mother and your father is providing, you are now moving towards that stage of provision. And it is not quick fix. It is a question of transformation. You transform yourself pole pole until by the time you graduate out of this place, you are the person supplying, supporting that your bad mom of yours who never went to school, who just dropped out of class 8. Yule mama andanganywa na baba na akawaja shule na ni mama yangu na yako. So you are the one who is supporting. They are no longer supporting you in the next 4 years. That is my hope, that is my belief, and that is education. Education should be long life. Sio ya leo na kesho. Whatever you learn, I learned a long time ago to be a teacher. I'm now a teacher, and I said, for EDE, I taught in nursery school for some time, about 2-3 years. For those who are taking EDE again, I taught in a primary school for 10 years. For now, those who are taking issues of science and what, I taught in high school for 4 years as a mathematics geography teacher. And for those who are taking teacher training at Kibabii University, I have been a teacher trainer for 11 years in teacher training college and 7 years as a teacher trainer at Kibabii, a total of 18 years, a lot of experience in it. Therefore, you must learn to learn. It must be lifelong. That's why I'm saying education is an art. It's not something you can just go to class and teach. You must learn. So it is not limited to time and space. That is why we are saying education is long life. Education is a social activity. We talk about socialization. It's a social activity. We write proposals, or you will continue as you get along, you will learn so many things. We interact in meetings, hata sahi kuna Senate inaendelea. So it is a social activity and should use social sanction methods. Tumeitana, kuna mkutano, tunapanga harusi, tunaitana, tunaenda kwaya. That is socially sanctioned method. Tunaitana, tunaenda maombi ya asubuhi. That's why watu walikuwa naomba. And make sure that your prayer don't interrupt with others. It doesn't mean that the amount of noise you make around the compound where children are is the correct thing, because we might be, that's why I want to give you that education must change you. You know, there are sick old people, there are young children in a particular place, and you are waking up saa 10 and say, I want to serve my God. And you sing loudly, you pray loudly. In the next door, kuna mzee, hajaamka, kuna watoto hawajaamka. Are you normal? Why don't you wake up and go to church? Why do you use that single room? Na unajua, your neighbors are asleep and you make noise. That is not Christianity. In fact, that is sinning without knowing. Be knowledgeable as a religious person so that at the end of it, you know what you are supposed to do. Don't make mistakes and force mistakes, because God gave us the wisdom, knowledge, and attitudes. That is why we are learning today. And that you will be a pastor and I am the teacher. Use your way properly, the correctly sanctioned method. Don't use a wrong one to be able to force others to conform to your way. They have choices. Remember, over 18 years, the government gives you an ID. They say you are now a man or a woman. You can decide on your own. You are not a child. You can decide. So by the time you are there, you should be able to make the correct decision on how to socialize, how to behave, and how to do things. Therefore, education should be able, or should be a valuable thing, should be valuable to you. If education was not valuable to you, everybody who could be now a pastor. But remember, right now, we are talking about professors. We no longer have illiterate people in the church who claim to be People who are there in the church are extremely learned people. They realize that even Jesus and his disciples, including Luke was the most educated person. If education was not correct, then Luke could not have been picked by Jesus. So it is part and parcel of what we learn here on earth. So it is the acquisition. Now I'm putting together. Shika sasa, kama huko umeshika. We are now finishing the definition of education. When you don't have anything to define education, I'll give you these 3 things, and I want to add the 4th one. That to define education, it must contain the word knowledge, which is cognitive that is what's supposed to be in your brain. It must contain knowledge. Kujua kitu. Kama wewe hujui chochote, then you are not educated, akuna, because there is no brain which is empty, by the way. All brains, hata ya watoto. That's why unasikia ba 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 ma and all those things. Then they learn, they imitate, then they play. Then the next thing, you must be able to do something. You must be able to milk a cow. You must be able to write some. Don't say when muakili. Akili gani? That is part of education. You must be able to manipulate, create something using your hands, your legs, your body. Those are the skills. Even talking alone. How to be fluent. In most cases, I said, my language, I learned when I was 17 years old when I went to class 1. So that's why I was telling you last week that ukisikia nikisema factors, ujue sijasema, there is no any other factor apart from factors, yeah, F. So sometimes we are interfered by our own, but because we understand, we learn pole through communication, which is a skill. There are several skills now in CPC. So you must have knowledge in your brain. You must also have some skills. Hapa Kibabii. Because without the skills, you will not survive. Utakuja hapa ukifanya mchango for the next 4 years. Napata drop out of school. Utafukuzwa kwa mtihani throughout. And if you do not know, you don't have any skills, others will drive you. They want you to go to town. From town, you go to Mayanja. Because you have nothing to do. You become their worker. Why don't you go even and ask to work in an hotel? Why don't you go to somewhere? There is a boy, there is a teacher, not a boy. A teacher now is teaching who graduated 2 years ago. Aliangaika kabisa. Baka akaona atakufa. Akaenda hapa Kandui tu, sio mbali. Akaenda kwa hoteli, akamuuliza mwenye hoteli. Mwalimu mwenye anaishi aligraduate 2 years ago. I'm giving you life experience. Akamwambia, nisaidie tu nioshe vitu kwa hii hoteli yako, ndio nipate chakula, nipate nguvu ya kusoma. So kama siko darasani, nikuje tu nifanye kazi ya sweeping na kuosha vitu hapa kwa hii hoteli yako, na at least unipatie chakula kidogo. I only need food so that I can continue learning. He was given the opportunity. He worked so hard until he was employed in the hotel. He worked so hard until he was one of the cashiers in most of the times. The hotel managed to pay fees for him. Out of that hotel, by the time he was a 4th year, ashanunua pikipiki yenye itampeleka itatotoa kwa hiyo hoteli kutoka Kandui all the way mpaka Kibabii na imrudishe. By the time he was graduating, alikuwa na pikipiki 2. Yeye ni mwalimu, ashaandikwa saa hii under BOM. Lakini sasa he's running 3 pikipikis. From that student mwenye alienda kuomba kuosha vyombo ndio apate chakula. He learned the hard way. Skills matters a lot. The other day, I'll give you another one. A student was unable to graduate. So I offered myself to request him to changata mchango. Nikamuuliza, leta simu yako. Uko na watu wangapi ndani ya simu? Akasema there are about 470. we used the same friends wenye walikuwa wazuri, tukatafuta wengine because alikuwa anasema hata familia yake hawana chochote, oh we have problem, mama yake sijui nini, wanakunywa nini, vitu kama hizo. Wanakunywa, that's your life. They never went to school. Is that your life? They brought you up. That's why you are a university student. You have knowledge. You know to look for money. Ana unakuja unasumbua yule jamaa mlevi ambaye ni mama yako na baba yako. Unataka pesa na hata yeye anataka pesa ya kukunywa asubuhi. Mtapatania wapi? So I asked him, what do you have? Alirudi akaniambia, he knows how to shona viatu, to repair shoes. I said, that is good. Nikanunua kiti, nikamwekea karibu na mahali naishi, akachukua kamba, ile ya kushonea viatu na ile kitu. In 3 days, line ilikuwa imegrow. In 1 month, he had the longest line of shoe making ever. Tushachanga na yeye, tukapata instead of 54,000, we got 61,000 and something. Alipata pesa mpaka ya graduation. And that is, the time he used his skills, he managed to pay rent, he managed to pay for his food, transport, and he wanted to continue after graduation. Na alikuwa amepata kazi pande ya Tongaren hapa. Nikamwambia, mwalimu hawezi rudia kushona viatu hapa hivi, enda kwa shule, ukitaka tafuta shopping center pande ya Tongaren utashonea huko. Look at the skills which he had, but he could not proceed with those skills. Hangeweza kuendelea na hiyo skills because he did not have the knowledge. He did not understand that was part of education. You will face it as we proceed with this life here. Attitudes towards yourself. If you believe you are useless, if you believe that you come from a weak family, if you believe that you know nothing, if you believe that you cannot speak good English like that person from Alliance, you will be ashamed out of this place. I don't speak any good English, but I'm teaching today at the university. I'm a senior lecturer. Professor Lonyanga Po, who is a mathematician, does not speak English, very good English, but he is a professor of mathematics, and he has been employed by the government. It is not a question of, it is a question of communication. Are you able to communicate what you want people to get? This is not a question of knowing the Queen's language so well that you become the best person around Kibabii. I'm not saying it's wrong to know it so well. It is the best thing ever. But tumesikia nane amekatazwa kwenda ng'ambo because of knowing very little English. Hata Wahindi wanaendanga huko na hawana Kiingereza. So understand that. I'm not saying you break the language. You must learn always so that you become fluent to be able to communicate every day. Attitude about people. Attitude about your teachers. Hata kama unaona hiyo mtoto sio mrembo, hata unaona anaropokwa wa aina gani, please understand that people are not the same. We were not brought up the same together. Kuna hata watu ambaye ni chokora, ambaye wanasoma na zizi. They were brought up by a church. Hawajawahi kuona mzazi, but today they are at Kibabii. Wanasoma na zizi, na wale wameishi kwa biba. Lakini sasa wanasoma, wanataka kuwa walimu. Understand them and make sure that your attitude is always positive to be able to change that person, to be able to fit into that system. That are the valuables and worthwhiles to the society and individual. Those 3 things. You can add other things like values. I'm almost coming to an end. According to a Nigerian called Akinpelu, 1981, in his book, The Introduction to Philosophy of Education. You will learn philosophy of education next year. Education can be defined at 2 levels. I want to move faster. 1, descriptive definition. He sees education as what takes place in a formal institution. Nyinyi mnataka sasa corona ilete shida. Formal institution ni darasa. Ile 4 walls, iko na mlango, iko na madesk na mumekaa mumeangalia mbele, like auditorium busy. That is according to the descriptive definition of Akinpelu. That education is what takes place in a classroom, according to him. Like now you will say, I was educated at Cardinal Otunga, Moi Girls, Moi University, Kibabii University, Kamsinga, Kakamega I, all those ones. That is his first definition. So education according to him is schooling. Kwenda shule sio education, mwalimu. Kwenda shule sio education. That is not education. It is part. Probably schooling kwenda school tu peke yake na kama hutatoa chochote ndani wewe ni bure kabisa. There is no education there because even the little knowledge you get, I don't know how you are going to apply. So being inside that class, being in this wall peke yake ukinisikiliza, that's not education. To one who has not been to school, according to Akinpelu, it is meaningless. He's not educated. He's useless. According to the way you look at your father, who dropped at grade 3, and your mom, who went up to class 5 and 6, you say they are not educated. Because you are looking at education. You observe, you define education as Akinpelu, 1981. Kwamba yule ako educated sana, ni yule ameingia darasa. Unajua kuna watu ambaye wako educated in a different way. That is why kuna matajiri ambaye hawaelewi Kiingereza. Today unaenda kuomba kuwa guest of honor kwa rambe yako na yeye ana elimu, haisiongea Kiingereza. Akiongea utacheka sana. But he lives with the society. The person mwenye hata kuongea watu wakitaka kufanya kesi anaenda kutafutwa. He is extremely educated. He has knowledge, culturally inculcated knowledge, which is education. That's why I was saying, knowing the language, the Queen's language or your own language does not add up to full definition of education. So Akinpelu defined it that way. There is a weakness to that kind. When you look at definition as going to school, it has so many weaknesses. All activities in the school does not constitute education at all, at all. Nani hata hapa saa hii, nani atakufundisha kutengeneza pesa? Who is going to teach you how to make money? Number 2, who is going to teach you how to get children, how to code? Kukatia mtu. You expect me kuketi chini hapa na kukufundisha namna ya kukatia mtu? Na ni lazima watu wakatiane. Utaolewa ama utaoa namna gani kama utakatiwa? It's a must. There is nothing like that. And it is a must also to protect yourself against kukatiwa na kuingia kwa box ya wenyewe bila sababu. Understand how you need to, don't just every box uko ndani. Hii box umeingia ndani. All boxes are not good. Don't just get into every box and you find yourself inside and then you become saying, sikuwa najua, oh, and then you're being, and even the owner does not mind. By the way, ukiingia kwa box na ya mtu, na uenda hata useme ukuje tu assuming I'm a young person. You come to my place, I am a boy, I'm a man, a teacher, and you are a woman, a teacher also. You come to my place, we socialize, and we do the other thing, the parents' way, the adults' way. We participate baada ya kukatiana. You see, as a man enjoys peke yake. His problem is to enjoy you. Another laptop wewe ndio unapenda. So at the end of it, the recipient is the woman who may end up getting a disease or a child. Ukipata hiyo mtoto, my friend, after baada that kind of enjoyment, hiyo simu itasema tu mteja wa nambari ambayo ulipiga alipotea kitambo sana. Because there is no man here who has an agreement that let us get a child. How do you get a child in first year or even second year? You want to get a child when you have your money. Sasa umeingia box. You want to use biology yenye umefundishwa kwa class. Ati unajua after 4 days, 5 days, sijui siku gani uko free. My friend, malaria inaweza kuwa imekushika na ina change all those days from 28 to 21. You get expectant. You even do not know that this guy is so hard that his things can stay in you for the next 3 days until the other one drops and meets it. Alafu unasema sijui nini ilifanyika, and you blame the devil. Don't blame the devil. Blame the kind of education which you get. Be wise. Get education. Be knowledgeable. Understand the skills. Have the positive attitudes. Education is more than schooling. It takes place in other settings, like within the family, peer groups, the way you read it. you relate religious organization and religious issues, mass media, wakati tuna interact zaidi tuko kwa hapa tu, videos, the way you watch TikToks, internet, what you download the whole night, you want to find out all kind of manner of items. You look at all those things. Please, they are not adding up. They are finishing your bundles. Use TikTok to look for jobs, even to go abroad. Type up with you. Use Facebook to look for meaningful jobs, online jobs, so that you become. Don't be a person yenye uko na simu tu, simu kubwa yenye haisaidii chochote. What you get from that phone? Kama haikuletei pesa, haikupatii shule yoyote yenye unaweza can be sponsored abroad. Unajua unaweza toka Kibabii saa hii na uingie mpaka China, uingie Australia, uingie America, uingie Canada, uingie inchi yote, Sweden, Germany, kila mahali. By the way, you need to learn so many things. You should be learning German right now. German education is free. Why don't you learn German when you are here, so that by the time you graduate out of this place, you've done all the courses in German, and then you go to Germany for your master's and your PhD, where life is better. Look at you, and you carry a big phone. That is lack of education. Unabebaje simu kubwa tu namna hiyo ya kuangalia mapicha za watu. In brief, the definition of education does not show what education is. According to the same man, he has a different definition. That is normative or prescriptive education. That is his definition. He tries to bring out the meaning of education by looking at how we can recognize that an activity constitutes education. Hii jamani educated. Unaona vile anafanya hii? This guy is a very good driver. Which is the criteria of getting education or being educated? According to him, the concept of education refers to many activities and processes, both within the school and outside. In normative definition, education is seen in two ways. Number one, education as a product. When you get out of this place, what type of product are we? You are a product of your high school, a product of Kibabii. We look at you as a product. And that is the definition of education according to Akinbelu, 1981. A person from Nigeria. This is the concept of educated person. Who is an educated person is asking, and we are asking ourselves, what characteristics should one possess to be called educated? By the way, different societies, including yours and mine, and cultures have different characteristics that they cherish. In traditional African societies, that is our topic 3 in this unit. The educated man was the ideal citizen. Hata paka sahi yule jamaa ambaye anajulikana anaweza tafutwa, hata mama yule unaweza kuenda kuuliza kitu atakusaidia. One who combines expertise in a certain skill. Do you have a skill? No. You have them, you don't know how to use, like that boy of mine, that teacher of mine, who had a skill of kushona viatu na alihangaika hapa for 4 years mpaka akakosa kugraduate. Na kumbe alikuwa mshonaji ya viatu, anashona in a single day, alikuwa anapata between 700 and 1200. Angefanya hiyo kutoka semester 1 of last year mpaka saa hii angekuwa wapi? You feel ashamed. Let me tell you, when you go abroad, utawasha class, utakata nyasi. Ask wenye wameenda Paraton University. Study, you work as you study. But here in Kenya, ati ukisha ingia university, unaringia nani? Which skills are you using? That is not education. Let me tell you. You must be able, ukitoka class on Thursday na una class on Friday, what will you do until Monday, saa 10 when another lesson begins? Umeenda boom, boom, boom. Is that education? My friend, please, this is not a place to relax. You are not brought here to come and relax. Learn to look for jobs, learn to work, learn to create, learn to do anything which can make, you can even manufacture soap. Wanawake kijijini wanatengenezanga. Sell very cheap soap around. Mpaka watu wanajua kuna sabuni inauzwa, wanawacha kwa duka wanaenda huko. You can begin your hotel as a number of, you can put resources together, 5 of you. You run a big hotel. When you are not there, another one is there. So one who combines expertise in certain skills, good character, that is a person according to African traditional society. He has skills, good character, wisdom of judgment. Anaangalia kitu na kusema, Hiyo kitu sio mzuri bwana. Msikae jamani namna hiyo. An individual with self control, sio mwenye akiona kila kitu imepita huko anastuka mpaka unashangaa, anataka kuchapa. Ukiambia kitu anataka kukuchapa bure, na umeamua tu na unatembeaje vibaya, nakasirika, instead of asking umenionaje na ulikuwa naona wapi? So this is a person who is controlled when there is provocation. Amechokozwa, he remains controlled. Sio lazima uoneshe makucha all the time hata ukichokozwa. Understand, look at mchokozi anataka nini. Use your brain. That is why you must be educated. Dignified in sorrow. Not that when something happens here, when you are kutoa kelele kutoka sijui wapi paka wapi. Tutaishi. Nasikia Jesus anarudi kesho. It is written, and it was written even 2,000 years ago in that Bible, that Jesus is coming soon. When he's soon, you only have 70 years and you are dead. Now it is 2,000 years. He's coming soon. So understand how to approach coming soon, so that you don't waste all your time trying to do so many things to protect yourself with coming soon, and you know you will live for the next 70 years. Understand the coming soon, so that you stay upright as a Christian. Whether he arrives tomorrow, you must be upright. Whether he arrives after 70 years, you must still be upright. So the issue of kwenda tu, the literal meaning of soon, alafu unasumbua watu kila mahali, everybody, non-Christians, Christians, religious what, and then you are talking about coming soon. When is soon? Use your brain, use the knowledge. Yes, if God was coming soon, angekuja even when Jesus was still there. He stayed for 33 years, but God did not come. So, but the Bible was still there. The world is ending soon. So, to be called educated, one has to possess and use or apply the desirable characteristics in daily life, not today and tomorrow you are somebody else. You are not a drinker when you came here. Haukuwa na kunywa, unajikuta unavuta bangi, ati ukimaliza university bila kuvuta bangi, wewe sio mtu. Wewe ni jinga. Wewe kuwa mtu, si uvute uone vile itakutengeneza. 7 years you will be senile. The concept of an educated person in Africa emphasizes social abilities to be able to socialize with others, everybody else, or responsibilities of the individual. You want to be the leader. I like the people who are calling me, I'm the class rep of this. They are so passionate about being class rep. Hata kama walipwi. Congratulations, men and women of those classes who are representing people, because you are now beginning to be real people. You can even become the MCA come 2027. Nani alisema ni ya wase peke yake. The Western concept of an educated person is somewhat individualistic. Ya wasungu. Sasa hiyo ndio mnataka kuemulate. The educated man is discovered by his point of view, vile anaona vitu, kwa sababu wewe unaongea Kiingereza na vitu vingine na wewe unakaa mzungu. By the temper of his mind, akikasirika anamaliza watu. By the attitude towards life and his fair way of thinking. So look at the education in different ways. The qualities emphasized here are individual, very individual, very individual. But remember, we are social beings. We live all together. You can't be an individual. Ati, mimi siongeangi na watu. Hata mimi sipendangi maneno ya watu. My friend, I like my life. Mimi nataka kuishi tu maisha yangu peke yangu. Nani alisema hivyo? Wewe uko na baba, wewe ni peke yako. Uko na mama, wewe ni peke yako. Uko na uncle, wewe ni peke yako. Uko na shangazi, wewe ni peke yako. Uko na siblings, mandugu zako. Na bado hujazaa. So which time are you peke yako? Jana na story ya kujidanganya. There is no person who lives in isolation. We are social beings, like insects, like bees, and everybody else. Learn to socialize, fit into the society, tame your mouth, think positively, and work in a positive manner to support everybody. So that education is knowledge, education is skills, education is values, education is attitude, education is all those things. That now will make you a very good educated person. Man is a social being, nimesema hiyo. Education is a social process. That nimesema hiyo. Education is more than intellectual knowledge. Sio kuwa very clever atiyo jamani sharp sana. It should include emotional. Ile emotional ni ile you are feeling for others, empathy, feeling for others. Physical capabilities of man. Education is not limited to school. Sio ati huko Kibabii University you are educated. Hata wale umewacha nyumbani utakuta wanafanya kukushinda from your formal education. So it must lead to economical issues. That is, I was telling you, you must live economically, you must be socially, politically, so that you can fit in there. You must live morally. Si ati ukiona kila mtu tu, you think they are immoral. Not every person mwenye amekaa vile anakaa is immoral, my friend. Don't look at people, don't judge people by the way they look like. Jaribu uone, utaona chenye utawahi kuona. Be moral yourself, so that when you see everything yenye inapita, don't become immoral. Look at it in a positive manner. Discuss even with them. There are so many people who will even practice prostitution. Don't say this one is a prostitute. Hii siwezi ongea naye, muulize shida yake iko wapi. Atakwambia maajabu. Chenye ameona kwao paka imempush paka hapo. One student sleeping in a single room with three young men. Hawana kitanda, hawana chochote, so that they put chakula together. Talk to that person. Atataka kutoka sehemu kama hiyo. Hakuna mtu angetaka kuishi maisha kama hiyo. Be morally upright. You will realize that kuna watu wanaumia duniani. They do what they do not because they want to do it. Life has pushed them so hard to that corner. So, education as a process, I'll look at that later on. I said you define education in different ways. And when we define education, we are saying it should be lifelong, which is there forever. It should be worthwhile using it to bring good things. You will read that the learner must acquire knowledge and understanding. Education should take place in a morally acceptable way. Don't teach people using your own, don't use children as examples. And for that, teachers to be. Education should take place in a morally acceptable way. The learner should not be deceived or coerced to learn. Please, I'm not forcing you to learn. Since education is a process, the content and presentation should commensurate with the level of understanding of the learner, which is you. I'm trying to bring you out from high school, from primary, from thinking as a young man to being a teacher. Thinking as a young man to being a teacher. Thinking as a poor person coming from a poor family to a person who is so passionate to be rich and the only rich man in that family. Somebody who will be use the skills, the little skills, or even learn new skills in this semester alone to be able to use those skills for the remaining 7 semesters before you graduate out of this place. By the way, if you are waiting to be employed as a teacher so that you become rich, you are cheating yourself. In the world, if you do not have more than 3, 4, 5 sources of income, you will be considered poor, because employment alone does not make you rich. It makes you a slave because you work for the person and it gives you enough money for that month, only that days. If you do not have any other way of survival, if you are waiting for your father to send you pocket money, you will cry for the next 7 semesters coming. You will cast them for no reason. God will not listen, because the question is, you are a university student and Kenai has taught you that you must learn some skills. Now you have knowledge. You must have some positive attitude and you must persevere. The road is a bit rough, but within a very short time, you will get what you want. You will live better than your parents. You will support your parents in the next 3 semesters thereabout. If you think very positively and use education to support you. Kibabii has about 10,000 to 11,000 people moving around. 400 of them are workers. All of them are given over 6,000 shillings per month, which is amounting to 60 million. 60 million, my friend. Imagine ukiwachilia 60 million ipotee hapo hapo ikulwe na watu wengine. Hapo kwa mlango na Sam wanakula, kuna wanafunzi wako na vitu vyao wamemployiwa. Yani they use that 60 million to enrich themselves. Huko unachapa muziki, wewe ndio unatumika, wewe ndio unatumia yako to enrich them. You use that 60 million, part of that 60 million to make the few fellows survive. Alafu nasema hii haki ni ngumu, ni ngumu. Who is not thinking? It is you, the teacher. It is you at Kibabii University, the person who has joined us a first year, the teacher who should know more than anybody else. The teacher teaches everybody. So thank you very much for joining this class today. Next week we'll be looking at I'll be looking at some people who did definition of education in different ways. That is, I want to project the next lesson here next week, so that next week we will be there and you will understand. Yeah, we will be here next week. Scholars' definition of education. Wengine wale kuna William Frankenan of 1973, the issue of X, M, Y, Z. When this one happens, you see we are now, and I know wala wataki hesabu. Nitawafundisha polepole maana ya X ni nini, maana ya M ni nini, maana ya Y. So unaona Y hapo imeandikwa child, youth and adult. Wenye wako kwa class, lana. That is Y. So with that, I know we are saving some coins for us to be able to use in the next class. Thank you very much for attending my first lesson. Make sure that you have one platform for the 2,400 or 500 of you, so that you are all here. I don't know how many were there today. Let me find out from MacD, my friend. What is the number? The highest number. I know they keep on dropping.
We went up to 1,300. Yeah, and the lecture has been very enjoyable and inspiring.
Thank you so much, MacD. I believe our young men will join us soon, and they become men and women of substance, teachers to be dependent upon, pastors, drivers, and everybody else, businessmen, not only becoming teachers, bank people who will work within banks. You should not be a teacher only. You can work in the bank when you graduate. 1,300 people listening today. We are almost, we've lost 1,000.
So for those who are asking for the course, I think maybe before next lesson we shall have an online course with the same content posted there, and maybe a attendance register for them to register their attendance on the eLearning portal.
Okay, that will be very okay, MacD.
Yeah, let us organize so that next week they can enroll into the course, so that also they can have the notes from the eLearning.
Thank you very much. I'll repost again. I know I posted. I don't know whether they can still access it, but I'll upload them again so that they can access this one. I did not want to give them notes immediately before they understand these things, which introduces education seriously. I'll give them all the notes. I'll put them there, plus exercises, plus questions, plus almost everything. We still have a long way, my teachers. Let us all be teachers. I am your teacher. You are my teacher. I learn from you. Let us learn from one another. Don't treat me as the lecturer, the teacher. No, we are all teachers. Sisi wote ni walimu. Tumechakua. Next year utaenda kufundisha, ndakuja kuangalia. So you are a teacher. I am the teacher. MacD is our coordinator here in this world. Na ametusaidia sana. 1,300 is not a joke. Na umesikia tutawawekea notes hivi karibuni. Thank you very much, MacD. I back to leave, and our students, let's meet. When we meet, tafadhali nisalamie. Zumaniona nisalamie, mwambia hii ni Kenei. Naitwa Kenei. Jina rahisi sana, Kenei, Kenei. And namba yangu ya simu ni hii yenye mnaharibu, 0721 572 692. 0721 572 692. Mara ya tatu, 0721 572 692. Email skipkenei@kibu.ac.ke. skipkenei@kibu.ac.ke. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. We meet next Wednesday. Magdi, nimemaliza.
Yeah, it has a very interesting link, and they have really enjoyed.
I always try, because I always tell the institution that without this unit, yes, you will not have teachers. By the way, you will have people with a lot of trouble. Sure. But with this unit, if I get real time for these students, by the time we clear religion and education as a development, I believe these fellows will be able to go out there. Sure. And be able to support themselves without necessarily quarreling their parents here and there. They get what the parents can support them. They can start their way of life here at campus. And that is what we intend to do, so that when they are not in class, they are not so idle in rooms. Instead, they should be running the errands of Kibabii, Bungoma, Mayanja, na kila mahali, so that we work like the European. Yes. We don't work. A university is a university, just like any other university elsewhere.
Yes, sure.
But let me tell you, Magdi, I don't know whether they're still there, even if they are not there. The other time when we agreed with them, after 4 years last year, we managed to do some assessment. Yes. We realized that people from the Central Province and Kisii were the only people who are doing a lot of business with us. The rest of the communities, now what wanapata at the same amount. Yes. Is it a belief that maybe people from Central are business-oriented, Wagizi are business-oriented? What about the Turkanas, the Pokot, the Kalenjin, the Luyas, all these other fellows, the Luos? Why do you have to spend your money on us instead of Atasisi? When you come from Northeastern, a person from Northeastern, you eat from his hotel, but he'll make sure that he eats back in his hotel so that he does not spend on your side. Why don't we play the game of business, all of us? Because life is all about business.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Magdi.
Yes, Sandy Doc, maybe let us organize for next lesson. It's okay. It has been very good.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.